subscriber friends, and also viewers. My name is Professor Ivan, head of the University of Gaming. Today, we are going to change the course of how you, yes, you, play nurse in a game called Dead by Daylight. Now, let's get started. If you want to know the basics of how to get started with nurse, consider watching this video and subscribing to Ivan's channel. Now, let's get into the basic steps on how to play nurse. Let's move on. Now, what do we know overall about nurse? Well, she has the ability to blink across the entire map of Dead by Daylight, across all the maps of Dead by Daylight, with a simple charge. With her hand, she teleports across the map with her power. That's the overall knowledge that we know about Nurse, this demented teleporting killer. That's what we know about her. Her power, when to utilize it, and when to go across the entire map. How do you know the distance, Professor Ivan? How do you know how far to go with your blink? How long to charge your blink? Find out from this clip and watch as I down a survivor in Dead by Daylight as nurse. Conveying. Roll it. Yep. Now, as you can tell from that little clip, right? It takes precision. It takes momentum to move like that. But it also takes thinking. You have to think about where the survivor is going to head next. It's called thinking ahead. Seeing the future. What place or what position will the survivor move to next? If the survivor, let's say, as your teacher, I would recommend doing a few matches, custom lobbies with friends, a killer friends lobby, and test out her distances and see and find out how much needs to go into it. So, let's say, for instance, the survivor is right here, and you're right here. But the survivor is going near a tree, a nearby tree. But if you look at the position they're at, right before they go behind the tree, you have line of sight of where they last were. So, what you would need to do is follow their scratch marks. These little scratches that they leave on the floor, called scratch marks. You follow those, and wherever they lead is where the survivor is. So what you need to do is when that survivor passes that tree, you go right behind them towards where they last were behind the tree. Then follow up with your second blink, because you have two blinks. With your second blink, follow up behind them, and then hopefully you hit them. Now, things can get a little bit out of hand if you don't do it right. You have to know the nurse's distances on how long to hold your blink. However, if the survivor is in front of you, for a certain amount of time, you can do 2 blinks all at once and then instantly hit them down. But it isn't that simple. Excuse me for a second, kids. Excuse me for a second, class. There's somebody at the door knocking. Let me see who it is. Ivan? What are you doing here? What the heck are you?
Sorry, Professor. But you see, it takes too long to goddamn talk. So you know what? I think I'll take it from here. Oh, I'm sorry. Was I raving? Don't mind me, I just had to kind of murder him. Not really murder, but yeah, I had to just cut him up a little bit. Make him bleed. If you get what I'm saying. That's it. Just a few stabby stabs. And that was it. The old blade. Just cut him up. Now, where were we? Oh, that's right. Learning nursing Dead by Daylight. Let's get started, shall we? Bullet.
So, whenever you are playing nurse, make sure, like I'm doing here, hold your blink for a certain amount of time. And then if they're behind one of those trees, but you can slightly see them, teleport with your blink there. Use the, I think it's right click, right hold your right mouse button for at least 5 seconds for the first blink, because you can hold it for a long time. I think maybe 4 seconds. Hold it, and then when you see a survivor or wherever, teleport with your first blink, like right here. You can teleport like that, and then you can get them down like that with your first blink. But obviously, I had Devour Hope there, so didn't really count there. But you get what I mean. First blink, M2, which is your special attack. Hold M2 on your mouse. Hold it for 5 seconds. Use your blink to go around an object or through an object or to hit somebody. Use your second blink to catch up or follow up on that survivor and then hit them. if you can. You need, the key to playing Nurse is having line of sight of where the survivor last was, like basically where their last position was, and then teleport to that exact place, and then follow up with a second blink right behind them. That's the main thing that you need to look out for. Now, there are some very smart survivors that defy this rule and will kind of counter that rule, and they stay behind objects as much as they can possibly do, so that way you don't have that much line of sight of them, and that way you won't be able to follow up with your blinks. Only for the really good survivors those do, so you have to look out for where they last were and pay very close attention, or else you will be in big trouble and you will have a lot of problems. You won't catch up. So I'm telling you, what you need to do, you have to hold that M2 button, the right click with this finger right here on your mouse. Hold it with your with one of your fingers here. When you're on your mouse, make sure that you right click. Do not left click. Do not. That's an M1 attack. An M2 attack is when you hold down your right mouse button over here. Make sure you hold it down to charge up your blink. Now, I would probably do it for at least 5 seconds and then teleport through an object, or to catch up, to at least see where they are. Second blink, if you have line of sight of them, usually blink immediately and hopefully catch up to them. Now, that may not happen. You just need to know the distances. You know how long the distance is, alright? But that's the general idea of what you need to do to catch up to a survivor. Now, next thing is there are 2 really good add-ons for Nurse that I use personally in this game, and I'll probably put them up on screen here so that way you guys can see. And one of them I'm pretty sure is purple. If I'm wrong, correct me please. One of them is purple and then one of them is orange. Now, these are... Sorry, editing, I'm in here. I meant to say purple, not orange. Double range add-ons. They increase your maximum range for a certain range and a certain distance, I'm pretty sure, for both of the add-ons, and those together will really help you manage your blinks, and you can actually hold your blinks for a lot longer. Now, with those 2 add-ons, however, you will have to hold your blink for a little bit longer in order for you to get that maximum blink range. I would say at least a little bit more than 5 seconds, at least 6, 7, or maybe 8 seconds. And then you can release, and then you'll teleport basically across the entire map. I've tried it before with both those add-ons, and I really like using those every single game that I have, but I just don't have the amount of blood points really ready for it. I'd recommend, if you guys have like 1,000,000 blood points, or at least a few 100,000 blood points, upgrade to as far as you can possibly get her level up to. And if you get those add-ons, I would strongly recommend getting those add-ons. They're very, very powerful on Nurse, and you will pretty much always catch up to the survivors with those add-ons. And yeah, they're really, really powerful. I strongly recommend you guys using them on your first try. They will really help sell your gameplay out, and they'll really make the survivors pressured, and you will really, really get a lot out of it by using them. You'll pretty much always catch up to them. If you don't, then there's another add-on that we're going to talk about here in a minute. It's a pink add-on, which is also very, very powerful. There's two of them, and we're going to talk about them here in a second. So we are going to individually talk about these add-ons. The first one that I want to talk about is this one right here. Now this add-on, what this one does is it removes one blink. So you'll be at one blink, and you have to manage that to follow up with the survivors, because you won't have two blinks. This one removes a blink, but there is a but in there, and it's a good but. However, it increases your base movement speed, her normal movement speed, by 4.2. Her movement speed will be 4.2. And it's really good. I know removing a blink is a consequence because you only have one blink that you can use to catch up to, and it's going to be very annoying because you won't have two blinks to catch up to a survivor. You only have one. But the reward for that is your base movement speed will be 4.2 now instead of 3.8, because her normal movement speed, she's basically the slowest one I think in the entire game, but she's the strongest in the entire game. So normally without any add-ons, her base movement speed is 3.8. Make note of that. Her base movement speed is 3.8 normally. But with add-ons, her base movement speed with the pink add-on that I just told you about makes her movement speed 4.2 instead of 3.8, which makes it even better. But it does remove a blink, which makes you a little bit vulnerable. It still makes you vulnerable to catch up, but it takes longer, if you know what I mean, right? And we're going to talk about this in just a second, about how that add-on can really influence making your games better. So let's go ahead and talk about that, and yeah, let's roll it. Now, I personally think that this add-on isn't really worth it, because it really does slow you down quite a bit. But if you have different views about that, let me know in this video in the comment section. But it can either be a good or a bad perk, either way. But I would personally think, if I were to really think about this logically, it's a very good add-on. That's what I think of this add-on. And this will actually, I think, really help your games out a lot, because even though you have to catch up with just one blink to a server, and you're like, oh my god, I have to blink like 5 million times just to catch up with this one blink, your base movement speed is a lot faster now, like a normal killer. So that is actually a benefit to your games, because then you'll actually be able to catch up to a survivor with simply just an M1 attack. You won't have to use your blinks that many times. If a survivor's right in front of you, you can just catch up with your 4.2 base movement speed. Because remember, her max base movement speed, normally without any add-ons, is 3.8. So with that add-on, I think you guys will do very good with it. But I would recommend checking that add-on later on when you start getting better at Nurse. Because in the future, what we're going to be doing is going over every single one of the Nurse's add-ons and how that'll influence your games to be better. A lot better. But for now, let's just go stick with the other two add-ons for your first games. So if you already have a few hundred hours though in Dead by Daylight, I would highly recommend trying that add-on out. Okay guys, so the next add-on that we're going to be talking about, and this is her final pink add-on that she has. This one is a little bit different. than this other one. This one adds a blink charge, and the consequence is it increases your blink recharge time by 50%. So you have to go through your fatigue and everything, and to charge your power back up again, to be able to charge your power back up and use your blinks again, is increased by 50%. That is a consequence of this perk, but the reward is it adds a third blink. It adds a third blink to you, which is actually really good on Nurse. And we'll explain to you why in a minute, and then we'll end the video because there's not much more that you guys need to learn. We'll teach you guys the rest in a future video, a future tutorial. But yeah, so this one is beneficial. It's definitely beneficial than the other one, so I think it's a lot more better. I think, but it may not be. They're both really good, but let me know down in the comments below which one is better, and maybe I'll try for myself out. But this add-on, I would not recommend do it yet, but if you need to, you can try this one out first, because I actually like this one a lot better than the add-on that we just did just now, that last pink add-on that we just went over a few minutes ago. This one I think is actually a lot better, so maybe try this one out first and then that one, whatever order you choose. But this one I think you should wait on it for a little bit, because it is a little bit harder to do for this one. But that's mainly it for this add-on. But now real quickly, we're gonna quickly go over this pink add-on and then end the video. Yeah, so let's go ahead and talk about how this will be beneficial in your games. Let's go talk. Roll it. So now, to me, I think this pink add-on is a lot, personally for me, not to you guys. In my opinion, I think that this pink add-on is a lot better than the first one. The reason for that is because you do get 3 blinks, and yes, I know your blink recharge time is like added like by 50%, which your power meter takes like 50% longer to recharge, but the benefit is that you get 3 blinks. So no longer will you have to blink 2 times, you can blink 3 times, and hopefully that 3rd time you can hit them. And mostly a lot of the times you do. And that's very, very beneficial for you to get a first hit. And trust me, I'm pretty sure you will get a hit with 3 blinks, for sure. That's a definite. So for you guys, if you guys don't want to try it out, that's okay. But I would personally try this out myself, because I think this is a very good add-on, and it will really help your games out too, as long as mine. So whenever you guys want to try it, try it. I really want you to try it. It's a very good perk for you guys, and it will definitely influence how your games will end out in the end game. And yeah, that's basically it for the 2 pink add-ons. And now let's go ahead and get ready for the outro. Alright guys, well, I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. I hope it helped you guys out a lot. Now, I strongly recommend that you watch this tutorial, and the add-ons that I told you, I want you to use them in your matches. They will help you out a lot. Now, the pink add-ons, you can decide if you want those in your games. If you do, by all means, try it. I don't care. Please try out the other 2 add-ons though. I strongly and I beg you to use the add-ons in the beginning of the video. those 2 blank range add-ons that I said that increases your maximum range, that green and that purple add-on, please use those. Those will definitely help your games out a lot more, and it will help you get downs a lot faster. Alright? The pink add-ons, you can decide on those, and other than that, I need to clean up that body there, so because there's blood all over the floor and everything, so I need to get rid of the evidence that I killed that guy there. So, well, that I didn't really. Okay, never mind. I guess I did. I just gotta clean up that body there real quick that's laying on the floor. Yeah, I strongly recommend you use the add-ons I told you. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this tutorial. I hope I made everything clear in this video to you guys, so that way you guys can use it in your games, in your free time. Maybe make a video on it too. And I hope you guys enjoy playing Nurse when you have the chance. I strongly recommend, as Ivan, to play Nurse every single day. Practice her no matter what time it is. Now, don't do it at bedtime. Alright? Don't do it at nighttime. You will not be that focused. I recommend doing games at least for 4 or 5 hours a day. If you have no plans, of course. If you don't have any plans, then I would recommend 4 or 5 hours at least of playing Nurse every day. And once you start getting good at her, then you'll start dominating your matches. I'm counting on you guys to use those add-ons. And without further ado, hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you guys did, make sure you guys all please hit that subscribe button if you have not already done so, and that like button as well, and hit that subscribe button and that post notification bell so you guys will get notified whenever I upload any of my videos. And as always, I will see you guys in the next video. And now I need to go clean up that body that is laying on the floor. Bye bye, guys.